Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday night chat. I'm Kelly Wilkins from My Self Reliance. It's so good to be with you tonight. A lot of people have jumped on tonight because you've heard my very cool and fun news that we have bought our dream property. And so tonight I promised that I was going to share all my tips and my story, how that came about. But before I jump into that, I just want to give a couple of announcements, some things to look out for. So, coming up on the 14th of December, we have the My Self Reliance Christmas party, and that will be at in Arcadia, not far away from where we held the summit. So in Sydney's northwest at number 12 Halls Road, Arcadia. One of our My Self Reliance members is opening up her home there, pool and tennis court. So if you can come along, it's 3 p.m. on the 14th of December. Bring a plate to share and your swimmers and towels as well. This tonight is our second last Tuesday night chat for the year. Our last one will be in 2 weeks' time on the 26th of November, and then we'll be wrapping up for the year. And we usually go a little bit into December, but this year, of course, we have to wrap up a little bit earlier, pack basically, and get ready for our big move. So I wanted to share with you how this all came about. But before I do, I'm going to share with you the video. You may have seen it in our Telegram channel. You may have seen it on the email. But just let's take a quick look at our buying our new property. So let's have a quick look at that. Okay. I'll rewind a little bit. And so if you were with me back in 2006, I had just been married to second marriage, my second husband. We were living in North Parramatta in a little 2-bedroom apartment. My husband had a lot of debt coming into this marriage. And so we started out very happy, but very broke. And so it took a little while for us to be able to fall pregnant and start having children. But in 2010, we had our first little boy together. I already had a daughter from my previous marriage. And at this point, she's about 8. 2011, we had another little boy. 2013, we had our daughter. So that now we had 2 girls and 2 boys. And so with 4 children, we'd moved house a few times and living in now Quakers Hill, I was struggling. I had been working as a teacher, and I'd started in 2007, I'd started a networking business. And so I was working at school, trying to start a business, and that was going pretty well. However, I was frazzled. I had a new baby girl. I was sitting at the computer trying to work away, my toddlers around my feet, and my husband with his feet up on the couch, not because he was lazy, but because he had a broken ankle. And just trying to manage it all, and it was hectic. But at this point, I want to share with you the first lesson that I feel like had got me through those, I guess, the first almost 10 years of our marriage, was this, that I started this networking business because I wanted to grow personally. And being that frazzled mum was just not cutting it for me. And so the plan was that I would retire from my teaching business, that I would grow my network marketing business, and that we could flourish. And that was a beautiful start. However, the first lesson that I want to share with you all is that having a network marketing business is beautiful for the fact that it does teach you so much about yourself. I learnt to overcome a lot of challenges through having a team, having training. And so the one thing that a network marketing business gives you is the opportunity to face your fears, to deal with them, to overcome them, and to bring out the winner that you have living inside of you. And it was at this point in my life where learning to become a mum to 4 kids and have a business, and whilst looking after my husband with a broken ankle, that my team decided that they would read a book together. And my leader actually gave us this book and said, you need to read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And so this book I want to share with you changed my life. So you're thinking, what does this have to do with buying the dream home? Well, it has everything to do with buying our dream home, because tonight I'm actually not going to go into the mechanics as much about how to purchase property. That is my husband's job. He's actually a buyer's agent. But I am going to share with you the miracles that happen along the way and also the magic. And it started with this book, The Miracle Morning. And it showed me how to set up my day so that I could have the first hour of the day to me. So I don't know if you're anything like I was, that the first thing that I would do when I wake up in the morning is to grab my phone and start looking at it and get distracted in all the things that are coming at you first thing in the morning, right? If it's even predating Facebook, there was emails, and there was the constant inbox ting ting ting, and text messages, And so this was distraction that can really take you away from what you want. And so in this book, I learned to um, take back that power hour, that first hour of the day, just for me. And so it took me a lot of years while I was rearing my little ones to try to get some kind of a routine in my life. And one of the first things that I did was actually write down the acronym that Hal Elrod gave us was lifesavers, and the savers stood for the acronym for affirmation for silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and scribing. And I would do these things throughout the day or as the first thing in the morning to try to help me to get on track with my goals and getting the most out of the day. So that was the first thing. So, second lesson that I want to share with you are readers are leaders. And if you haven't got a good book, I recommend starting with that one. But just reading 10 minutes a day can really change your outlook and your perspective on life. And so if you want to change your world, they say that the 5 people that you hang around are the ones that you're going to be like, right? So you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. So there's going to be people who are doing maybe not as good as you are, some people who are doing better than you are, but you kind of fit into that middle rung. So if you want to elevate your position in life, how you're doing, then start reading, because getting new thoughts into your mind can really change the way that you see the world. Okay. So I started reading and started changing my life little bit by little bit. Further along down the track now, about 7 years ago, I went along to our network marketing company, had a leader coming out from the USA, and she was going to train us in a visualization. So how do you know what you really want? Okay, so if you don't know what you want, then you can't really have it. So that's the next clue, is you have to know what you want to be able to get what you want. And so going into this exercise with this leader that had come out, it was a deep exercise, and we went through layers and layers to find out what it is that we really want. And in this exercise, I got to get in touch with my heart's desire. And at this point, I'd lost my dad a few years ago, and he'd taught me. We'd grown up on the farm with him, and my dad was an amazing leader, someone that everyone respected, and everyone loved my dad. And I kind of tapped in at this point. As we went into this exercise, what was really at my heart's desire was being on property where I could have people come and to retreats and be trained and to learn. And I really love to entertain. I really love to have people come over, and personal development was really, really it's my thing. I love personal development. And that's why I actually had a network marketing business. And so just because for the personal development, yes, I could have had a Mercedes and gone on trips and do all those things, but it's really the personal development that's just makes my heart sing. And so I got really clear in my mind this vision of being on property. Now, I want to fast forward. It's now 3 years ago on my 48th birthday. I'm in a room in Sydney in the Hilton Hotel, and there's 200 ladies, and we're all sitting at round tables, and we're listening to a speaker at the front, and we're doing some work. Again, we're doing some work on creating our vision. And the speaker at the front of the room had us do a closed eyes exercise and tap into our vision. And at the end of that, she said, okay, open your eyes. Now, who would like to share your vision? Now, I had done the work before, so I knew immediately what I wanted to say. My hand shot up. I was the first one with my hand up, and she called me to the front of the room. Now, it was my 48th birthday, and I went to the front of the room, and before I even said anything, I visualized taking the microphone and saying to everyone, thank you for coming to my birthday today. And I wouldn't want nothing more than everyone would wish me a happy birthday or to sing happy birthday to me. But instead I shared with them my vision. And what I could see is that I'm on a hill. I can see the water. There's a place for people to come and stay at my retreat. We're doing a whole weekend here, and I'm able to impart to them this amazing knowledge and filled with amazing people. I share this vision. I hand back the microphone and I go sit down. I didn't say anything about my birthday. And I'm kind of like that was kind of cool, but I was kind of kicking myself under the table going, why didn't I just say it? I could have just said it. That would have been fun. And at that moment, now this is like the third lesson I want you to share. I had been all this time working on the space in my head. Like I'm so the thoughts in my head, like doubting myself, questioning myself, wondering, should I? Why didn't I? Second guessing. And I don't know if you have this experience or not, but the voices in my head stopped me so many times from actually doing what I wanted to do, saying what I wanted to say, being completely free to be me. And I went home that night and I'd been reading this book called Not Nice. And I had decided that was it. Like my niceness, like I can be super nice, and sometimes being nice gets you good places, right? It's a good thing to be nice. But I'd gotten so used to being nice that sometimes it got in the way of me actually fulfilling on what I said that I wanted to do. And so that night I was so over myself. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. You get where you get over yourself. It's like so much. I'm so mad with myself. I'm so kicking myself under the table so much that I'm done with that. I'm done with being nice, but I didn't know exactly how to give it up. So I knelt down in prayer and I prayed this most fervent prayer that I've ever prayed before. And I said, Heavenly Father, please help me. Help me forgive myself for every unmet expectation. And I got off my knees and I wrote in my journal those words. Can I tell you that from that moment on, I never had those voices in my head again. The doubt that creeps in, it was gone. It was completely gone. And I felt free. I felt completely able to be me, to be self-expressed, to say what's there, to not be nervous and afraid. And that changed my life again. So now not only did I know exactly what I want in my future, but I was also freed up enough to be able to have the confidence to know that I can have it. Now, that was just before COVID kicked in. And then COVID, of course, changed everything. At some point during 2020, I realized that the world is never going to be the same again. And as much as I loved the network marketing company that I was with, and that I was teaching people health and wellness, and that I was doing something that made a massive difference in the lives of people everywhere, everyone I touched, it wasn't where I saw that I was most needed. And it was then that I started in 2021. The shift took place actually during 2021. And by September 2021, I had completely shift gears. I'd Some of you may have heard me talk about Roxy Labras, who was my coach, and I actually hired her as my coach to actually build up my network marketing business. But she helped me to bring out something else in me that was really close to my heart, and that was my self-reliance. Teaching people and getting back to my roots now again about coming back to living off the land, food storage, being resilient, having emergency preparation. These are all the things that I had learnt growing up in my church and on property, on my farm, through my family, had really ingrained it in me that these things are really important. And now that we could see with lockdowns, we could see the tyranny of the governments, I'm like, okay, this is what I need to share with people. And so we started coming online and doing these Tuesday night talks, and we were doing them from, I think we started July in 2021. And so we've been doing these Tuesday night talks ever since. And about the September, then I started bringing on guest speakers. So that's how my self-reliance came about. From once we come out of lockdowns, then we started to do family camps. And at those family camps, then I was teaching people more emergency prep things that now not in theory, but in practice. And so from those camps, the next year we did a expo. We did an online summit that went for 2 days. Went for 10 days. We had 2 speakers a day for 10 days, and that was huge. We did that 2 years in a row. And then we had our second expo this year, and our second Freedom Summit this year. And so I want to tell you that that during this time that I had been still training myself on I'd actually pivoted from, I actually started the jigsaw method. And the jigsaw method is my own version of Hal Elrod's morning miracle. And so he teaches doing the 6 things that you do each morning that really sets you up for the day. Well, I teach those 6 things in the jigsaw method, except I've tweaked it and I've made it my own. And so you still get health and wellness in there. And we do these beautiful, this routine. I call it putting the pieces of the jigsaw together so that you create your power hour morning. And then you can create anything that you want. Now, I'm going to give you some of my golden tips for creating anything that you want. Like I said before, first of all, you have to know what you want, and you have to get really crystal clear on what that is. Because the more clear you are, the more vibration that it sends out. Like, you know how when you are looking forward to maybe a holiday that you want, it becomes real in the world when you buy those tickets, right? And then you tell everyone about it and you get excited and people get excited for you. Same if you're buying a car or, if anything that you've been looking forward to, the more excited that you can get about it, then the more that that energy starts to um, bring what you want towards you. So every year, and if you've been with me leading up, at the end of each year, we do a wrap up of the year. We do a look back and we say, what are we proud of ourselves for this year? What is it that you have accomplished? Give yourself a pat on the back for how far you've come this year, and also get complete for yourself the things that you didn't accomplish. So we're going to touch on that in our in 2 weeks' time when we wrap up for the end of the year. And so you really want to get those things complete that you didn't accomplish, because you don't want to have anything left over residual that you're feeling bad, like, oh, I said that I was going to, lose weight this year and I didn't, or I said that I was going to start that study and I didn't, and then it just doesn't set you up well for the next year. So we get that complete. We forgive all those things that we didn't complete this year, and then we start the next year off with really creating what you want your 2025 to be about. And so at the beginning of every year, I create the vision board. And if you go back into my YouTube channel, at the beginning of this year, we did a lot of training on that, training on how to have your best 2024, how to create your vision board so that you start to visualize, you can see it in front of you, the things that you want to have happen. And because the more you see it, and if it's in a place that's in front of you, then you can, it starts to change the way that you think. Now, did you know that your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction? So if you see what it sees, it believes is real. So if you see your favorite holiday destination and you're seeing it on a picture, your brain will start to internalize, like think that that really happened, and you can start to train yourself like, yes, that's in my future, that's in my future, that's coming in. So we have always had this picture, my husband and I. We watched a movie called The Biggest Little Farm. And so The Biggest Little Farm it's like a documentary of this family who had a city life, had a city business, and they decided that they're going to go out to Los Angeles. They're going to create a farm. There was nothing on it. They started a permaculture farm, and they grew it into something flourishing and beautiful. And my husband and I both watched this and we said, we're doing that. We want that. And we showed the kids, and we enrolled them in the idea of this is what's going to be our future. So somewhere during 2023, we are, thinking, okay, we better hurry up. We better hurry up and start looking for this property. It hasn't happened yet. And so every week my husband was on, realestate.com. Now he is a property, a buyer's agent. So he knows how to look for properties and he knows how to find them for everybody. So I'm like, okay, well, we've got to be able to find ours. And so he's searching and looking all up and down the coast at every property, mostly around Port Macquarie, because that was kind of where we thought that we could afford. And it was kind of exhausting, actually. He had a coach, and at some point his coach said to him, you need to stop looking. It felt kind of counterintuitive. Well, how are you supposed to find your dream property if you stop looking? But he took that advice because it was taking a lot of energy to be looking, and he really needed to focus that energy on building his business. At the end of last year, we moved house. Uh, this is kind of our second move in 2 years. We're in now this current house that we're in. And, without thinking about the property, we actually thought at the end of last year that what we wanted to do, we're not going to go looking for a property, but what we'll do is we'll get a caravan and we'll drive all up the East Coast and we will check out locations because we don't actually know where we want to live. We don't know what that's, the area as much. So let's go check out some locations and see what feels right. So rewind a bit. So we're in the last house, and my husband sells the house because we needed to pay for the one that we're in. We couldn't keep up two mortgages at the same time. Except we thought that by the time he sells it and we made a deal agreement with the new buyers that we would rent it back off them for 6 months, and then we would be able to move straight into our house. But it didn't happen that way. The new house wasn't actually ready, and so we found ourselves looking for where we're going to live. It was right before Christmas, and our friends offered us their caravan. We put our caravan, beautiful Emma, who often helps out during our festivals and our summits, she loaned us her caravan that would fit all 5 of us. And we put it on Gail's property. If anyone knows Gail, she lives right near Kenthurst, where we had the summit. And so we put the caravan on her property and we stayed there for 3 weeks. And she has horses and it was amazing. We enjoyed that caravan living. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted to do experience caravan living. So we did. Then we went last Christmas to visit our family in Queensland. We spent 2 weeks there, and then on the way back, we took a slow trip and stopped in at different places on the way back. A beautiful friend who looks after the My Self-Reliance Singleton hub, Chris, she let us stay in her beach house at Tea Gardens. And so we were looked after the whole way, even though we didn't know at the time how this was all going to pan out. Friends really kicked in and really helped us during this period where we were homeless. And so by the time all that worked out, we came back and we got to move in January into the house that we are currently in. So that's kind of like lesson number 4. Don't worry when things don't work out the way that you think that they're going to work, they should work out. If you trust in God, pray, things have a way of working out. And so we ticked off the boxes that we said that we're going to do, living in a caravan, traveling all up and down the coast, and moved into our beautiful new house, which we thought we're not going to stay in for very long because we still have our dream of going north, right? But when we got into this home that we're now in, we loved it. We loved it so much. We love our church that we go to, and we thought we're going to be here for a little while. This is it. So I unpacked all the boxes. This is it. We're staying here. Now, fast forward to right before summit. You know how that summit went. It was awesome and it was huge. Just days before that summit, my husband said to me, check this property out. It was actually 1 week before the summit. Check out this property. Like, oh, that looks really nice. Not thinking too much of it. Yep, that looks like a really nice property. He'd booked in for us to go and see it the day after the summit. So my head's all about the summit. I'm not thinking of anything else. And then the next day he said, right, we're getting in the car. We got to go see this property. Right, don't rest. Just let's go. And so we go up there, and now you've all seen the video. And that was us driving in there. As soon as the kids arrived, they felt home. They knew it was where they felt like it belonged to us. Now, the fun thing is that there were already two other offers on the property. And the way the property works, I don't know if you know, but you're not supposed to meet the owner when you're in the process of viewing the property. But when we finished our tour and came back to our car, and our car wouldn't start. So this is odd. We actually had to wait for the owner to come home and borrow his jumper leads to be able to start the car. And as it was, my husband's English, the owner is English. They hit it off, had a great chat, and as awkward as it may be because you're not supposed to chat, and they had a laugh about it. We put in the offer the next day, and the next day it was accepted. My son actually said, I think we were meant to meet the owner, because they accepted our offer over the other two offers that they already had. When you look at the video, you can see that everything that I described that I wanted was right there in this property. And we'd been looking at all kinds of different things, like we were going to build these options, but they were already there. Now, this is not the first time that I have experienced this when moving to looking for a home. And I believe it 100% that if you write down everything that you're looking for, keep that list. When you find what you want, it will resonate with you. You will know, and you'll have everything that you want plus more. And the plus more that we didn't know that we were getting, we even get the pony. How good's that? Now, I want to give you an exercise that you can do, that you can start right away to start bringing into existence what you want. Okay. I can talk this through, but I think what would be even better is if you experience it with me. So I want you to get comfortable. If you're in a chair, just sit up in your chair, get comfortable, and you're going to close your eyes. And most of you, I can't even see you, so that's easy. So close your eyes, and I want you to, first of all, think of a problem that you want to turn into a solution. So it may be something, it may not be a problem, but it might be something that you're working towards. It may be a goal that you have, or something that you're challenged with at the moment. And I'm just going to give an example of one, and I'll just work through this example of one. So, and I want to tell you that this exercise, first of all, comes from the Mind Valley group. So if you've ever heard of Mind Valley, I have the Mind Valley app, and I use this. It's the Silver Ultra Mind method. Okay, so first of all, what you're going to imagine is that there is a screen in front of you. So you got your eyes closed. There's a screen in front of you, and on that screen, I want you to imagine the problem as it is right now. Now, perhaps you want to stop drinking so much Coca-Cola. Okay. So on your screen, you're going to think about the Coca-Cola. It is, and how much you're drinking each day. So think about the problem that you have and think about what it looks like. Imagine it. Increase the color. Increase the clarity. Now I want you to increase the problem and make the problem bigger. If you are drinking a bottle of Coca-Cola and you want to stop drinking that, imagine now you're drinking 3 bottles of Coca-Cola. Now I want you to make the problem 10 times bigger. And I want you to make it funny. Make it a funny problem. Make it now a crazy problem. Turn that problem into a crazy, funny scene that's so out of proportion. Okay. Now we're going to slide that scene across. Move that scene across to your right and bring on a new scene. And this is called the 3 scenes technique. So in this new scene, I want you to imagine now that you're taking some actions that is more in line with solving the problem. So now, if the problem is drinking too much Coca-Cola, now you're seeing the bottles go in the bin and cutting down from 1 bottle of Coca-Cola to a half a liter. Or maybe replacing that with another drink. So have a think about your problem and think about tiny steps that you can do that's improving the situation. Okay, now we're going to slide that scene across. And in the 3rd scene, I want you now to imagine the best possible outcome. And in this scene, you're going to imagine how you feel now that you have solved that problem. And now, if it's the problem with the Coca-Cola, that's no longer in the picture. What you're now seeing is the new you, how you're feeling, how you're looking, what you're now able to do because you've solved that problem. And I want you to bring more color to it. Make it exciting. Make it fun. And see yourself being congratulated. Bring some sounds into that scene. What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you taste? Make it vibrant. Okay. Now you can wrap that scene up, roll it up like a scroll, and you can let that float up into the heavens. It can just stay there. Okay. In 3 days' time, I want you to do that again, except this time with the first scene, you're going to now imagine you've taken those improvement steps. And so your second scene becomes now your first scene. And then you're now replacing that with the next scene. Okay, so each time you do it, then that the improvement is the first scene that you use. Okay. Now, I you can, if you have that, if you've heard of the Mindvalley app, you can get that program from Mindvalley. But if you want to do, want some support in actually accomplishing your dreams and goals, then we actually do some other, I don't teach that one in my jigsaw program. So that one's just a special one for you guys tonight. But if you want to start on a method that will help you to bring in exactly what you want to have happen in your life, then you can join me on the jigsaw method. We are starting next Monday with our jigsaw. I'm going to bring up my slides again. I'm going to check my chat. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask about that? I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So that's a really powerful exercise that you can do anytime. But the other powerful exercises that I teach in the jigsaw, we have this graphic here that you can see, that you can take a picture of if you want. But each day I teach this jigsaw methods. We start with journaling, inspiration, affirmations, gratitude, silence, stretch, and water. And I show you how to put that in all into a power hour so that you can bring all of your goals and dreams to life. And can happen even much quicker than you ever expected it to. So we're actually starting the jigsaw method next Monday on the 18th of November at 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. And so that goes from Monday to Friday. And so you're wondering, how do you fit 6 things or even 7 things into 5 days? We do actually double up a few of those things on a couple of those days. But as you piece together your best day with one habit at a time, you can have the life of your dreams. And with that, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. It has been such a fun journey. And I want to just say that, because I'm doing this method, it doesn't mean that everything's easy in my life now. I still have challenges and things that I need to deal with, but I don't experience drama in my life. I don't experience being out of control. I do experience challenges. I have a way of working through them so that I have challenges, but they don't have me. And so through the jigsaw method, I'd just like to share things that I have discovered that bring joy and happiness to my life every day, and share that with you. So, as we move to the new property in January, it's just going to create a lot of new opportunities and exciting things to look forward to in the future. With my self-reliance, we have a big vision and a big plan. And in my vision, I'll tell you now how it's going to look on my vision board 2025 is that we have my self-reliance in cities and towns dotted all over Australia. That the things that we've been doing the last few years that have been local to me and doing our workshops in Sydney and hosting those close by, that wherever you are, that you're going to be able to have those opportunities to meet with like-minded people, take this journey, learn about food storage, emergency preparations, be prepared, have that community around you that are supportive and that are all growing and flourishing together. And it's really not about fear, concern for what's happening in the future. It's really about raising our own personal vibration so that we actually bring what we want. We're not concerned about, a tinfoil hat, the fallout. We don't have to worry about that, but we are prepared. And that's why when we work together, rising tide raises all boats, right? And the thing that I love to share this is a little bit selfish. I'm a little bit selfish in how I do this because I know that as I help others prepare around me, that it makes me more safe. Okay, and so that's why I do what I do, is I teach others to have this, be safe so we can all grow together. And also, it's a great way of meeting people, and I love people. I love being with you all. I love our experts that come on and share with us every Tuesday. And so thank you for being with me on this journey, and thank you for your company, because without you, then, I don't get to do what I love to do. So I hope that tonight you've been able to take away something that you could use yourself, that you get on a journey, a pathway of personal growth and development, because honestly, that's where the true joy and happiness is. It's not about a destination. It's not even about that we brought our dream home. It's really, that's just the start of it, right? So we never arrive. We never really finished. We're always on this journey. So, but thank you for being with me, being part of it. I hope to see you all again in 2 weeks' time as we wrap up for 2024 and create an amazing 2025. Thanks, everyone.